Bitcoin edges are now triggering. Several altcoin edges also triggering. Is the crypto market finally waking up? I quantify it all on today's REKTelligence report. As a friendly reminder, everything in today's show is for informational purposes only. There is no investment advice given. All right, let's get into the show. Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Dave. This is the Edge Report, where I quantify specific opportunities in stocks, commodities, crypto, and occasionally beyond. Today, it is all about what is working right now in the crypto space. This is essentially an altcoins report. Let's get into it. Before I dive into the details for ZEC and several other alts, a quick note. I have developed many systems, strategies, edges, whatever you want to call them, over Bitcoin, as well as several alts with a defined portfolio. I did this scientifically. Each has different test periods. The Bitcoin tests were different than the altcoin tests. But since we're going to look at mostly alts, the alts were developed over 2020 through the end of 2023. Out of sample reserve data, which was only seen once, of course, that was 2024 to the end of July 2025. And everything after that, so August last year, right to the present day, is all essentially live forward testing. Traders, crypto is not a wild, unruly market. It's an asset class with 500% more time for price discovery and opportunity. My new course, Crypto Trader's Edge, is now live through Algo Advantage, one of the top quant pods and academies out there. A full systematic framework, backtesting, strategy development, validation, real edges with full code, not hype. Links in the description, or head to my Substack at REKTelligence. Now back to the show. All right, I will start with ZEC, daily chart up top, equity curve and some stats on the bottom, and I've got a summary to the right. But first, here is the signal tag. You can see in this case that green triangle plus a little text there. That is when it met entry with this quantified edge. The edge name in this case, and it will differ by chart as we go forward, ROC velocity. That is the edge name. The logic is essentially seeking to capitalize on shifts in momentum. Sizing here is 20% equity per trade. That will, of course, differ by trader, but just so you know what's being committed here or how it's being calculated as we look at the stats. And for the total trades, 72 across the combined in sample, out of sample, and walk forward periods, as I described earlier. So again, 72 trades. The hit rate here is 44.44%, sub 50%. This will lose more often than it wins. A lot of traders have a hard time with that, and yet crypto is very asymmetrical. The payoffs and the outliers, they pay for that routine losing. So hit rate, again, 44% or just north of that. Profit factor is 1.90, excellent profit factor. And you can see total P&L, 91.22% with this sizing. Total max drawdown, or I should say trading views max drawdown here, 16.88 for this particular asset. Let's look at Doge, and Doge has triggered across a lot of edges. I believe I only show you this one, maybe one more later, but many have triggered it. And we see in this case, this is the Alt RSI Momo edge, and this seeks to capitalize on RSI thrusts. Again, same sizing, 20% equity per trade. Total trades here, 41. Hit rate is 43.9%, very similar to what we just saw. Profit factor is north of 2.404, excellent profit factor. And especially with 41 trades, that's a very robust profit factor. Easier to have a high profit factor on a lower number of trades. So when you get above 30, 41 in this case, it's nice to see still a 2.4 and change profit factor. Total P&L here, 74.83%. And trading views max drawdown is 11.09%. And this has been kind of creeping up. If you look at that equity curve on the lower right-hand side, creeping up in recent days. And you can see, again, the signal on the chart with that green triangle. Let's look at another Alt RSI Momo edge, this time in Dash. And this triggered just a few sessions ago. I am recording this on Wednesday. This report comes out tomorrow, Thursday, as you're watching it. So this, again, is a recent signal. We see total trades here, 32. Hit rate is a coin flip, 50%. Profit factor, 2.372. Again, excellent. Total P&L, 57.76%. And trading views max drawdown, 14.8%. Another nice looking equity curve. Here is Zilica, ZIL, just met entry within the last couple sessions. And we see this is the Alt V-Spike edge, another edge entirely. And of course, in the Crypto Traders Edge course, you get all of the code, all of the logic, a lot of other things that, of course, we're not going to have time for today. Very robust treatment of crypto, a lot of research, essentially. This looks to capitalize on volume dynamics. Total trades here a little bit less at 18, hit rate 50% again, profit factor 4.279, excellent. Total P&L 226 and change percent, max drawdown just a tick under 10%. That's it with that particular sizing. So this is, again, very nice looking edge and good momentum early in this particular signal. Doge, I do have another Doge chart. This time it is a signal from the Alt ADX pop edge, yet another one. This seeks to capitalize on trend acceleration, same sizing. Total trades here with this particular edge for Doge, 23, hit rate 39.13%, not even 40. We see profit factor, however, just south of 3 at 2.9, total P&L over 200%, and the max drawdown 21.10%. Again, nice looking equity curve. And what I like about these edges and this style of trading, particularly when applied to crypto, is the flat lines of the equity curve. Of course, we all like the nice ascending stair-step equity curves, but when this is losing, it is typically losing in small little bites as opposed to large drawdowns. Obviously, that can vary by asset, but nice looking equity curve. We see here another chart of Dash. We saw this before, but this time with another edge, the Alt ADX pop. Now, I tested these edges across a very defined portfolio of alts. I'm not going to go into how that was defined. That's all in the course. However, I will say that not every edge works on every asset in the portfolio. And this is a good example of Dash really not working with the Alt ADX pop historically to date. You can see the total trades 21, hit rate 38 and change percent. Nothing super unusual there, but profit factor 1.009. Essentially flat, right? The sum of gross gains divided by the sum of gross losses. When it's 1, that means it's break even, and essentially that's what we see here. Total P&L, total across all those trades, 3.35%, just kind of noise, max drawn on 18 and change percent. So this is one that I wouldn't trade. That is why I have the warning emoji. Now to Ether. This is one that hasn't signaled. Everything up to this point in this report has recently triggered, and yet ETH has not. Why am I showing it? Well, it's not that far away from triggering. Let me explain. Look at the chart. You can see above every candle, there is a red X. This indicates that the altcoin index is not favorable enough to allow this to become a trade. Even if the momentum entry criteria triggered, it still would be prevented from becoming a trade. Therefore, it is a filter, and this applies across the board to all assets using this edge. It has that filter component. So look at the stats here. When it is favorable, you can see 18 trades historically, hit rate 61.11%. It's much higher than what we've seen before with this filter. Profit factor 6.324, excellent. Total P&L 93.86%. And max drawdown 4.86%, pretty low max drawdown compared to that P&L, and some of these other stats are very favorable. If you want to know more about the Crypto Traders Edge course, go to my website, tradingfromparadise.com. You can read about 10 plus hours of quantitative crypto research, full code in PineScript, as well as real test. And this is for Bitcoin edges, altcoin edges. There's a lot more packed into this course. Check it out, tradingfromparadise.com. It's nice to see the crypto market waking up more broadly than I have seen for some time. Over the past several weeks, there have been the occasional trade signals in this alt or that alt or Bitcoin. But right now, I'm seeing the greatest number of simultaneous signals, or within a compact number of days, across both alts as well as Bitcoin, depending on the edge. So it is apparently waking up more robustly and more broadly. Folks, I will see you in Monday's All Markets Report. Until then, trade smart, live well, and cheers for now.